Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my dear students. How are you? I hope you are doing great and staying safe at home, inshallah. Today we are going to start studying Unit 5, Cambridge Book 4, Global English 4, Unit 5, Lesson 1. It's about getting around, traveling, using ways of transport, kind of transport, as you can see in the picture now. Okay, so I'd like you to be ready with your learner's book and your activity book. Okay, learner's book page 66 and activity book page 52. We're going to listen, we're going to read, we're going inshallah to, during the online session, to speak together. We're going to know new vocabularies like get, or ways, or types of transport. And let's start. As a warming up, as a start, as you can see with me, in your learner's book, in your student's book, getting around, the name of the unit. How do you go to school? If I ask you, how do you go to school? Oh, I go to school by car. No, my friend goes to school by bus. My school is next to my house, so I walk to school. So how do you go to this place? How do you go to school? I go to school, yes, by car. I go to school by bus, or even I go to school on a bike or by bike. Okay, how long does it take to get to school? How long does it take to get to school? It takes me 5 minutes, it takes me 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you would like to say. How long does it take you to go to school? Have you tried any of these ways of transport before? Look with me at these kinds or types of transport and tell me whether you have tried them or not. Number one, what is this? Oh, it's very easy. It's a car, yes. And, yes, a train. Have you tried this one before? You may say yes or no, it's up to you. Number three, what is this? How strange. Is this in your country? Try to answer me yes or no. What is this called? It's, yes, I can hear you from here. It's tuk-tuk, yes. Number four, it's a kind of car, a big kind of car, like a jeep. It's called jeepney, okay? So have you tried any of these types or ways of transport, kinds of transport before? Yes, I have tried the car, I have tried the train, maybe the jeepney if you travel to London, for example, like the London taxi. Okay, tuk-tuk in other countries, you may find them. It's easy to move between cars, okay? Let's go more. What is this time? What is this called? Yes, it's a kind of ship moving between two ways. It's ferry. Yes, what about this one? It's a kind of train, but it uses what? It uses electricity, so it's called tram, okay? And, yes, motorbike. It's a motorbike. Yes, and what is this? It's a kind of way of transport. It's called a rickshaw. It's a rickshaw. So these are types or kinds of transport we are going to study in this lesson, inshallah. So go back with the video and try to read them again. Try to know what are these words in your book. Look with me at the pictures you have in your learner's book, page 66, as I mentioned before. I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, about 8 pictures, and I'd like to listen to some children talking about how they go to school every day. Match the speakers and pictures. Which one they are talking about? Again, I have 8 pictures, and I think we're going to listen about 5 children talk about the way they are going to school. I'd like you to listen and tell me, yes, number 1 goes, for example, with G. Number 2 goes, for example, with C, and so on. Okay? I think you're ready. Now listen and tell me whether how the children go to their schools. Okay? I think you are ready.
Track 22. 1.
I live in Bangkok, in Thailand. There are a lot of cars in my city and the roads are very busy. That's why I go to jams. The tuk-tuk driver can drive between cars, so we don't have to wait behind them. The only problem is that tuk-tuks are open on each side, so you breathe in the traffic fumes.
2.
In Manila, in the Philippines, where I live, we get to school by jeepney. Jeepneys have 2 benches in the back, so a lot of kids can travel at once. It's really good fun traveling with all my friends like this, but the ride is often very bumpy because the benches are quite high up and sometimes it's a bit of a squash.
3.
My dad takes me to school on his motorbike. I live in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, and everybody here travels by motorbike. I like it because it is fast, and I get to spend time on my own with my dad. But during the monsoon, it can rain really hard, and then it is not so much fun traveling by motorbike. Even with our waterproof clothing, we still get wet.
4.
I live on a small island in Hong Kong and I get the ferry to school every day. I like traveling by ferry because when the weather is good, you can stand on the deck and look at the lovely views of the harbor. But during the winter time, it gets really cold even if you sit inside in the cabin.
5.
I live in Hiroshima in Japan, and I go to school by tram. It's quite fast and it stops right outside my school, so I don't have to walk far at all. But it often gets really crowded and sometimes I don't get a seat. I have to hang on tight when it goes around corners, otherwise I fall over.
Okay, I think now you have heard about the 5 children talk about how they get to school. Of course, you are going to re-listen again, to go back with the video and listen again and match each child and the type of the way of transport he talked about. For example, number 1 talked about what, if you remember. I think, yes, number 1 is here. Number 2 goes to school by what? Yes, jeepney. Number 3, yes, motorbike. Number 4, ferry. Number 5, tram. Okay? So these are the types of transport the children talked about in their listening. You can go again, you can go back and re-listen again to make sure that your answers are correct. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. Now, listen again. What are the good and bad points for each type of transport? For example, if I ask you, you would like to go to school on or by tuk-tuk, you will say yes or no. If yes, what's good about it? And what's bad about this kind of transport? The same way with all these types of transport. For example, I'd like to go by tuk-tuk. It's fun, and I can find the air from everywhere. It's easy to move between cars, so I'm not going to take much time, but it's bad for I can smell car fumes. It's noisy. I can't resist hearing the noise from the outside cars or the other cars. So it has good and bad points. Okay? And that's an example. Try to do this with the other kinds or types of transport. How do you get to school? Describe one good point and one bad point about your journey, as I mentioned before. Now, like this one. I go to school by car. I like it because 1, 2, 3. Why do you like going to school by car? Is it good or bad way to go to school? Okay? The only problem is that I don't like going to school by car because that point. That's it. Okay? So we're going to do this with all of them. Thank you for now. See you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.